Welcome to the It's Not Me, It's You podcast, a space where we explore the questions couples often avoid in their relationships.
Not the easy ones, the uncomfortable ones that sit quietly under the surface.
Before we chat, a quick note. If you're someone who finds these conversations helpful,
But still notices the same patterns showing up in your life or relationships, we've opened a small number of private reflection sessions.
check the link for details. Also, just to say, there is no right and wrong here.
This is simply an opportunity for us and you to travel through the tougher questions that come up from time to time, the ones we're often too afraid to ask.
What happens if one of us grows and the other doesn't? Wow.
Just leave, innit? Just leave.
Leave,
You got to keep up. You got to keep up. Come on.
You gotta keep up how I'm going. I'm running a race without you, pal. I'm gone. I think this is a really good awareness to have, because a lot of the times people do change and grow and want more for themselves and want to get better and want to improve and want to progress in life in general. But often you might have a partner that isn't really wanting that because they're just cool with where they are. So again, I think it comes back down to like non-negotiables, having the conversations early on. If you're driven, career-minded, X, Y, and Z, like, and your partner's not, and that's pretty obvious in the outset, maybe you wouldn't choose to stay with them for very long. Because if you're thinking of a long-term relationship, a life partner, you need to know that maybe he or she or they are trying at the same pace, maybe as what you are. But also don't write someone off, I would say as well, because people do change and they may just not have that massive incentive or have found a passion yet that they really want to go and dive in towards.
Absolutely. There's so many moving parts around this because you have a dynamic maybe where someone gets jealous and someone's growing and they're like, they're not trying to support you, not trying to encourage you, as we discussed before.
Yeah.
You might have a dynamic where someone's really, happy that they're growing and they're trying to encourage the other person, but the other person's not ready, like you said, or they're not capable, or they just don't want to.
Exactly.
And so you have to make a decision. Do I stay or do I go? And that's always what it's going to come back to, right? How much of this am I going to entertain before I have to say, actually, it's been good up until now, but we've just, the alignment shifted and I love you, I still care about you, but this version of me is not working in this dynamic.
Yeah.
This version of you is not working in this dynamic. It was with the alignment shifted.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
And, I've had clients before where they've been in relationships and they were really trying to make it work and he just didn't do this, he didn't do this. And then when they broke up, she then noticed that he is doing all the things that he wasn't doing when they were together. And when she was saying, can you just do this? Can you just do more of that? Why can't you just do X, Y, and Z? And then they break up. And then that person has gone on to do those things. So that also, it just comes down to the fact that they just weren't doing it in your situation because it wasn't for you. That person has to find it within themselves to do it, no matter what the time frame is, because you also can't drag someone to be a version of themselves that they're not going to be. I've had another conversation about somebody that was on their personal development journey, reading books, going to events, really like trying to get a handle on their own stuff to grow as a person, which is really good and really admirable. And she's like, this person, he's just not wanting to do it. He doesn't read the book. He's not going to turn up, blah, blah. And I'm like, why are you so desperate for him to do it? Like, you need to just go on your own journey around that. Maybe he's not interested. Maybe he thinks it's all woo-woo. Maybe he doesn't see that he has the need to go down that path. Why are you really trying to force that on somebody? Is it because you think you're better than them for growing down that path and wanting to better yourself, and you're judging him for not wanting to do that? Because that is all your stuff that you're just putting on that person.
Absolutely.
Everyone gets there in their own time, right? And actually, going back to Mel Robbins, she actually made a joke of it. She said, the crowd here, there's a lot of people here that wanted to be here, and there's a lot of people here in the audience that got dragged here. So she literally said it a few times. It's like, why are you dragging these people who is coming to these events that are even being open to being dragged there? And why do you feel that you need to drag your friend or your partner or your spouse or your sibling or your child there? Like, yeah, you get it. They might learn something, but then at the same time, if people aren't ready, they're not going to hear it or they're not going to action the stuff that is being said to them. Because it's just going to miss the mark, because you have to get to that point where you're open to it.
Absolutely. And I've seen it also in like business situations with coaches I work with that have clients that are just not ready. And so they've paid so much money for courses and so on, and they're not showing up. But then the coach then feels guilty. And that's, again, some old stuff, unresolved trauma and so on, where they feel it's their fault. And so they try even more
Yes.
to help. And it's like,
Because they take it personal.
Just accept they're just not ready. That version of them isn't ready, and that's okay. Maybe you've planted a seed. Maybe you've planted something that will inspire them and germinate and grow later on. That's what you can do, is hold the space and then crack on.
And maybe they thought they were ready. So they invested and signed up, but then they're not showing up to the Zoom calls or whatever.
For whatever reason.
Again, that's on them. Life happens. Life is always life-in for everyone, but it's not about you. But sometimes we think that it is.
We've put together a short guide with 50 questions couples avoid.
Let us know which really resonates and how you get on with them.
Everyone's relationship and situation is different, so have fun using them as a guide for getting your questions answered in your relationship.
And remember to ask yourself the same questions too.
If you were attracted to someone else, would you tell me?
No, next.
You ain't telling nobody, are you? I see you. I see people going, throwing away the key, boy.
Next, turn off that podcast now, straight down. Turn the sound off so when you're scrolling through Insta and you see it pop up.
Wow.
That's a big question. Listen. Everyone, one thing that you recognize, right? Everyone is changing. Everyone's getting older. There is always somebody more attractive than you. There is always somebody better. There is always somebody, that kind of like maybe was you 10, 20 years ago, and that's okay. But I think this is a great question to ask because I think it shows a lot about what you think about yourself.
There's so much to this question.
Coming back to the jealousy.
It's a great question. Jealousy. Also, some people work on this line of there are soulmates, and when you meet a soulmate, that's it for life. Some people feel there are more than one soulmate. And whatever you believe, the point is this: if you are in a relationship and your non-negotiables and your agreement lead to we are going to be monogamous and respect each other in that space, that's what it is. It doesn't matter how many other Mercedes-Benz, Lamborghini, whatever cars are out there. This is the car we bought, and we're driving this car.
And it works perfectly
it works perfectly well. If you want to have a go on that other car, is it okay for us to drive that? No? Okay, well, we're going to stay with this.
Exactly.
Until it's time to upgrade.
Yeah.
But the point is attraction is so fleeting. When you're talking about a serious relationship, building a foundation, raising children, family, business, growing together, having each other's back, suffering together, winning together, will that person you have that fleeting attraction with be right for those moments?
Yeah.
So you have to make that decision. And sometimes, we're human, we make the wrong decision and we have to deal with the consequences.
Exactly. And the question is, would you tell me? Like, it depends, like you say, attraction is very different things. Like, what do you need to say about, unless you are thinking about acting on it or you actually have acted on something, that's a very different question and a very different situation. But like you say, it's coming back to non-negotiables. If we've decided that this is what we want for our serious, lifelong, monogamous relationship where it's you and me, then no one else is going to be able to infiltrate that. And if they can, then you need to go back to the drawing board. And why did something just as simple as like a physical attraction on the surface, why did something like so simple take your attention?
But you see, you said physical attraction, that just is attractive.
No, I did say physical. That was an example, yeah.
It could be for any reason.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it goes back to what we're saying about keeping the peace and silence. Maybe it's best not to say anything because it's just a thought. We're human.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I talk to men about this all the time who are married and they say, look, is it wrong for me to look at a woman's body? I walk in somewhere, I'm with my wife or not, and I see another woman and I look a bit longer than I should do. Is that wrong? I'm like, it's a biological response. Like, you're human. If you see an attractive, like a woman with a shape, a person with a shape that you like.
No, it's not acceptable.
It's right, but it's human to glance and go, oh, okay. You'd be lying if you saw someone and go.
But whether you act on it or not is different.
Well, that's the point.
Yeah.
What's your intent? Are you going to act on it? Are you going to respect your marriage and the person that you're with, the boundaries and everything you communicate? That's different. And so I'm not encouraging people to put themselves in situations where they're surrounded by people that are going to tempt them. But I'm saying, if you see someone, it's okay to acknowledge that person is an attractive person to me, but I'm married. I know where those boundaries are, and I'm going to respect the relationship. Or I'm in a serious relationship. I have a partner, so I'm not going to cross that line. And it's important to be able to have that conversation.
And that's
with yourself and your partner.
Exactly, having that conversation with yourself if you're able to, and you know where your boundaries are, and you know that you're not going to pursue that. But to me, that is also what you've just said. That's a really attractive quality for your partner to be like, wow, yeah, that person's attractive, but I'm never going to act on it. That is really, really, really strong. And that is, for me, really sexy, really confident, because it also means that that person is giving me that respect. You know, we're all human, like you say, but we're not acting on it because I know who I'm going home to, and that's what I've chosen, and that's why we're married. Or you've chosen that life partner, whether you're married or not. What do you think I misunderstand about you the most? Ooh.
Wow.
You shouldn't misunderstand me, because you should read my mind and know everything about
know.
me. You should know. This is really interesting. What do you think I misunderstand about you? Coming back down to feeling maybe unseen, unheard, misunderstood. How does that show up in your relationships?
Some of you be in a relationship thinking this is a trick question, right? This is a booby trap. You're trying to draw me in to shut me down. No, but the thing is, being able to ask a question like that, to hold the space, to push that out, again, may or may not make someone feel so comfortable and emotionally safe, because they're considering you, especially if that's your love language, acts of service and so on.
Right.
You're going to feel like, wow, you're actually taking a moment to think about what you've done that might upset me.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And not everyone can do that.
Not everyone can do that.
Yeah.
It's hard. Because some people don't like to feel like they're wrong because they need to save face. It's a cultural thing. Growing up, there were challenges.
Yeah.
They were over-critiqued, and they never want to be wrong. So to put themselves in that position is so tough.
And I think that's a really good point. And it also comes down to the fact that, what do you value more? Do you value more feeling like I'm a perfect partner and I would never do anything wrong? Or do I value more the fact that I want to get it right to make my relationship last? Because you have to be aware, is it just for me and my ego, or is it for the better and the improvement of the relationship? Because if I don't understand my partner, I want to know about it, because I don't want them to feel so isolated and feel like they are being attracted to other people, and they're going to maybe explore that just because my person at home that I've chosen doesn't understand me anymore. Because it's a conversation. If you don't feel understood by your partner, tell them. And if you're also curious, am I getting you right now? Like, I've noticed we've kind of been a bit more quieter. You've spent more time out of the house. You're working more. You're choosing to work more. You're at the gym a lot more. Like, you've joined a new sports club or whatever.
You've got a new house.
You've got a new house.
You've
moved out. You've taken the dog. You've taken the car. You've left me with nothing. Like,
it's been a year since we spoke.
Am I misunderstanding you somewhere? Like, this is a great question to have. So yeah, I think that comes with the condition that, like you've just said, you need to be able to ask that question to hear any potential criticism, but use it constructively to improve it, to be able to improve your relationship going forward.
Absolutely.
If you've found your way here and you're enjoying the conversations, please subscribe, share the podcast, and turn on notifications so that you don't miss future episodes.
You can also drop your questions in the comments below, and we'll do our best to explore them.
Now, let's go.